I just realized something having to do with why there are certain times why I might fail or do perform a lot poorly than in comparison to other people in relation to some standard. I just realized why that's the case, and that has to do with because unlike other people, I'm not driven by certainty. Quite the opposite, actually. If I perceive something, I actually suppress certainty on an unconscious level, and that really can screw things up. Um, I'm not sure why that's the case too much, but the way I discovered this is basically I considered what it was like to say after like studying a lot, doing poorly on an exam, regardless if I'm going to Berkeley or not, or say I I just spend a lot of time on something and I just do poorly, and usually what correlates with performance is pretty obvious, right? It's getting the gratification out of the micro motions involved with whatever you're doing. And the thing with me is I tend not to get the instant gratification um, of the mechanics. So like if I'm playing a video game, I I have some kind of objective in mind, but the objective is the only thing that matters. It and once that's done, I suck. I continue to suck, and there's because I don't have there's no certainty involved. It's just this idea of getting being of just being objective. So like if I have this idea of trying to beat the best player ever in a video game, what I'll do is, of course, like everybody's gonna suck if that's their goal at first, but I will purpose. It's almost like my brain will purposely suck, even if I've played a long time, just so that I can so I can objectively complete something. Like for example, if I know that what's going to get me to the next stage of uh, being the best there is at the game, or going against the a friend of mine or something in a video game, and let's say if it has to do with maybe a certain strategy like moving slowly at first and then dodging for a certain other section. So what I'll do is I'll try to master that just for the objective. And during so in other words, if I'm just going to go straight into it and I'm quote unquote good at the game, I'm probably not going to be very good relative to that whoever that quote unquote best person is. Um, because I'm not trying to seek gratification in it, or what I call certainty. I don't crave certainty. In fact, like I said, I tend to suppress it. So the same thing goes for exams. If I'm on an exam, I don't look at what I'm doing and saying, yes, that's right, at every little execution. What I do is before the exam, I'll prepare for it and I'll say, okay, this is how it should be. Or if I know that the logic is incorrect, I'll make sure to adjust the logic correctly for that exam. And usually, like most of the things, like when I master it, if I given enough time, all the checks go through because I've properly aligned myself for that information. All the logic is crystal clear. The objective is being complete. But for other students, what they'll do is the logic can be very fuzzy. But when they go to the actual exam and start going through it, as long as the information that they're processing at every little check is you know, as long as they look at it and say, yes, that's correct, yes, that's correct, and then they tend to do much better than me. Because I can't do that. I actually have to be prepared. I have to, because there's no gratification involved with me. See, the thing, if I try to do that, my brain will start to go into like, you know, one thing to the next, and it will be completely irrelevant. I've experienced this in high school, and you know, I got like as low as maybe 2 out of 24 on an exam or something. I'm not trying to say that exams are everything to life, but you know, they are pretty annoying when, especially when you're at a hard school. But anyway, I just wanted to record this to let people maybe give insight on how others are struggling too, because this is why I struggle. I mean, this is why it's been hard to get it back and say, what the fuck, you know, where you're saying, I went through the logic. I don't care if I'm smart, but I know that I went through the logic, and the objective was clear, and it was, and should have gotten 100% at least, you know, or something like, no, 90% at least, just because maybe just little mechanical things here and there. And then it turns out the mechanical portion was just that much weighed compared to all the other aspects. And so then the gratification addicts, the certainty addicts, are more rewarded. And that's why you see them in higher positions, I think, or at least in my opinion. Anyway, you can dwell on that a little bit. Thanks for watching.